All right, I am so excited. I have the opportunity today to speak with Guiliana. Now, Guiliana, first, am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, Juliana. G-
Guiliana,
yes.
very nice. Well, Juliana, I'm so excited to speak with you this morning, and I'm so excited to hear about your experience. But, Juliana, to start off, can you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, your interest, and a little bit more about you.
Okay, well, I'm 31 years old.
Mhm.
I'm system engineer.
Uh-huh.
Um, I specialize in process management. I'm
Mhm.
working in IT consultancy
Uh-huh.
now. For example, now I'm at home of my parents.
Uh-huh.
Okay, um, we are in my family. We are 7 members. My parents. I have 2 sisters and 2 nephews, very youngest, 4 and 7 years old. I'm a cat lover. I have 5 pets actually. Five,
Oh my.
5 cats. I love
Uh-huh.
cats. I
Uh-huh.
think that they're amazing animals in the world. So I love them. Um, and well, I live in Ancon, is a district of Lima,
Uh-huh.
north of Lima,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very far from everything. That's the
Uh,
disadvantages about it because it's very far from, for example, I have to go to the work. I have to travel at least 2 hours to
uh-huh.
get there. So that's a little problem, but I'm getting accustomed with that. All my life, I live here in Ancon. I consider myself a amiable person. I like to listen to everyone. So, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I was actually saying you don't have to hold your mic. We can hear you. Because yeah, you can let it
Okay.
go. You can let it go.
So, now trustly, I was so nervous to this season, to this meeting, because I think that I was overcome to the fear.
Uh-huh.
If maybe I make mistakes sometimes, I all the time I rack my brain thinking about if I all the time uh, say something that is wrong or not. But I love, I participate in one of the season with you and the group,
Uh-huh.
and I feel comfortable in that season. So I'm trying to to improve my English now.
Good, good.
So
Okay, real quick before I respond. So when you touch the mic, it kind of has a lot of extra sound. So you can just leave the
ah,
mic. Yeah, it's okay. I can hear you clearly. And I want to
okay.
say this. Do I look scary? Do I look like a scary person or yes, no?
Well,
Uh-oh.
depends the situation, I think.
That is not the answer I expected. I was actually just trying to get you to say, hey, I'm a nice person. You don't have to be nervous. I know what happens though, you know?
No, so it's about maybe because when I think that it's the problem that I have when, for example, it's another languages. So
Uh-huh.
I all the time I overthinking about each word that I'm gonna say. So all the time is a little voice that you don't have to make mistakes. You don't have to make mistakes. So that made me nervous, and all the time I feel so not uncomfortable, but it is
Yes.
there. So it's weird, but
The
I'm
thing
trying.
is, Juliana, I understand exactly what you're saying. When I was studying Korean, I think you know that I speak Korean. I had the
Mhm.
same little voice. The same little voice was there. So I know exactly what you're feeling. The funny thing is, Juliana, when I spoke to people that I was really comfortable with, over time, that voice got softer and softer and softer. So hopefully, by the end of this conversation, that voice will be softer and softer and softer. So don't be nervous. I'm not here to make any corrections. I really, Juliana, just want to get to know you.
Mhm.
You said that
Yeah.
you're an engineer. You said that you live in Lima. So, and you said you're a cat lover, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I already learned so much more about you. Just to tell you a little bit more about me, I love getting to know members of our family. And for those listening, we always say students in the academy are family members. So I love getting to know you all. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you. So you can relax and you can share whatever you'd like. So I do want to ask you this. You feel okay now? A little
Yes.
better? A
Better.
little better. Good. Okay. So I know that you are in the academy. I want to ask you this though, Juliana. When did you start studying English? Why did you choose English? I know you're a fluent Spanish speaker. Why did you choose English and when did you start studying English?
Well, actually, I study English more than 10 years in
Wow,
an
okay.
institute, okay?
Yeah.
It was I finished the course, but the problem I think is that when I come home with my
Yes.
family, I have no one to practice the speaking. So I
Mm,
start to forget that the fluency, right? So
yeah.
grammar, or all the time you're thinking the grammar, but if you don't practice, I think that I cannot take that level. But the last year, I lost my previous job
Mm, mm,
on September
mhm,
of the last year. So I was actively looking for a new job.
mhm.
So I had two jobs opportunities.
Nice, nice.
That that's that's the point. Despite having the technical part of the interview,
Mhm.
they required advanced level of speaking.
Mm,
So I say, oh my God, I'm in problems with that. I took the interview in English, but
yes.
obviously I maybe I don't have the advanced level or fluency 100%. So in that moment, I decided to enroll to this course because I was looking you on YouTube in your
Uh-huh.
channel. So I decided to enter and enroll and try to practice that speaking. Because
Yeah.
maybe I have, if you said here, I have a lot of books of English.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the grammar is maybe I can practice that, and but I think that all the time with a grammar,
Mm.
um, I'm thinking what's the word that I have to put in my head first, and then what is the sentence. But I think
Mm.
that this course takes the possibility to practice more with all the community that you have, right?
Good.
And and that's helped me. So I think that that's the point that I am here actually.
I love it. I love it. Now, for those listening, I just want you to tell everyone. So, which of my programs are you enrolled in? For those listening, there are two main programs, the Daily English Lessons membership and also the
Yes.
Speak English Like a Native. So, can you tell everyone listening which one are you a part of?
The daily
Daily
is
English Lessons.
daily lessons, right?
Nice, nice. And you mentioned that you enjoy the community, right? There's a large community, right?
Yeah, I participate in two seasons,
Nice.
and for example, the people was very nice, very makes me feel so comfortable with the freedom to say it
Yes.
or making mistakes, and nobody
Yeah.
just. So that made me feel fine because sometimes we take that kind of fear that another one maybe judge you or hey, but in this
Yeah.
case, no. So
Yeah.
I feel comfortable with that.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, we have some amazing family members in our group. So I'm glad they made you feel so comfortable during the sessions where you were practicing. Good. Well, let me
Yeah,
ask you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Well, in the Telegram group also, your practice when you're writing or with a
Yes.
video, so it's very nice. It's a
Yes.
nice.
And it's funny, Juliana, as you all know, so our Telegram group is very, very large. And I let everyone know I don't comment. I don't, I'm not in the group actively speaking or leaving messages because the group is for you all. But I do see all the messages. So I love when I'm scrolling through the messages and someone posts a picture of food or posts a picture of their country and I see the conversation that starts. So yeah, I love those as well. So then let me
Yeah, it's
ask
very, very
you, yeah,
very kind people of all the culture, all the, I don't know, all the countries that we are learning together. So it, it's very cute. And I love that kind of, I don't know, for example, or maybe if not that, for example, if I can consult every sentence if it's okay or not, and they help us. So
mm,
it's nice, because you're practicing how to chat with other or you're writing on your words also.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you showed me a few moments ago behind you, there's a shelf with a lot of English books, right? And then you
Yeah, I
just
have.
said, right? A lot of English books. And then you just said, Tiffani, now I'm a part of the academy and the program, and people are so nice. And I love the Telegram group and the sessions. If you had to pick your favorite thing, what would you pick about being a part of this family? Like, how has your English study journey, like your journey changed after you joined the family?
I think that community is the difference, because if I compare with another, for example, other courses that I have,
Hmm. Hmm.
the difference is a lot because the kindness, the methods, um, it is very different. Not all the
Yeah.
time. Okay, in another is about, okay, we learn verb to be, past tense, and all the time you have to, yeah, you practice maybe a little your speaking. That in this program I think is more, okay, forget a little for the grammar. It is there. I'm going to show you, but here you are going to practice. You need to, um, I don't know, to prepare your confidence more
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah.
That's what I love, right?
I love it.
But
I love it. Good. I'm glad. I always love creating community and family and a place that's safe for you to practice English and not be worried.
yeah, yeah. Well, I practice the English an hour per day because yes, I
Nice.
an hour per day. I like to be practice more time, but sometimes I would say working. It takes me 5 hours per day in the traffic. So
Yeah,
there,
wow.
yeah. So it's very time, a lot of time. So, but in the night I took my PDF and I start to see the videos and try to practice taking notes,
Good.
repeat it, repeat to try to remember that the new words, the new vocabulary.
Excellent. Excellent. So, Juliana, what's your dream regarding English? What is your dream?
To speak fluently, to
Yeah?
travel, I try to communicate with no problems with a native English person. I love English. I like or another language to learn. I love
Yeah.
it, but I think that I want to, for example, turn on the TV and saw a sitcom or a series and try to understand without change the language or with the,
The captions.
yeah, exactly. So I that's what I'm thinking and try to also get a job with also with an advanced level in English and try to communicate my ideas in another language.
I love it.
So that's my goal. So
I
I
love it.
want to, yes.
To
So
get,
I'm trying. So I hope,
I think you'll
I'm sure
definitely
that
achieve it.
I'm, yeah.
You'll definitely achieve that goal. You mentioned your job. I was actually going to ask you about that. You said you started your journey again with the academy because there's a job you wanted and English was required. So, The job you have right now was not that job, right? Or was it that job?
Well, I'm working now, but it's not a necessary advanced level of English.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, don't you worry. All the practice and all of the effort you're putting in, you will definitely get that job. I definitely believe you'll achieve your goal. So,
Yeah, thank you.
of course, of course. So then let me ask this question, Juliana, because there are other individuals listening and watching this conversation. So I want to ask you this. In your opinion, Juliana, what
Mhm.
do you think is the most important thing for an English learner to remember? Because someone is listening to this and watching this and they're impressed because you are speaking English well with me. What do you think is the most important thing for an English learner to remember?
I think that it's also always about practice inspire you make mistakes.
Mm,
Because I have the vocabulary every week, every day,
mhm,
actually, in your program,
mhm,
but I'm not reading or trying to force that I have to grab on my head, in my head.
mhm.
So I'm trying to, okay, I read it, I try to repeat and repeat each word,
Yeah,
but try to put in the context or in a sentence that I,
yeah.
but not, uh, don't put a pressure of that. I think that could be naturally.
Mm,
Also, it's very important to study the vocabulary, try to practice, but I'm trying to not put that kind of pressure because for
yes.
me, it's worse. I'm
Yeah.
start to shaking and overthinking, but I guess it's that try to repeat with calm down and only see your videos and feel also very for example, your personality is very kind,
Oh,
so
thank
that made
you.
me that
Thank
transmit over the, so I feel very good, and I still continue because if I someone can't be I don't know like comfortable in the class, not this only I go to play to this video and that's all, no, but you maybe not put that kind of pressure,
Yeah.
try to advance in but with all the confidence, right? To remember, yes, practice, but not a lot of pressure with that.
Mm, that's great. I like that advice. Thank you so much for your kind words. And also, great advice, Juliana. Practice and don't put pressure on yourself. Just enjoy what you're learning. I love it. I love it. Now, I'm going to give you the opportunity, Juliana, to ask me a question. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask me?
Well, more than yes. For example, well, I have more than doubts about the words in English. How you
Okay.
can transmit the difference of the words of or rules in of the English language English have. For example, for me, it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
the phonetics of the English. How do you do, or for example, if you learn another languages
Okay.
with
So
that
this is
phonetics?
kind of mainly dealing with the pronunciation, right? And how the words are said properly, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, this is the easiest way I explain this. So, again, I understand exactly where you are. I love to say this so that family members and students understand. When I was studying Korean, went through the same thing. I
Mhm.
got to a point when I was speaking Korean where other Koreans, before they saw my face, they thought I was Korean because of my pronunciation. So I'm going to tell you what I did, and hopefully this will help you as you're studying
Mhm.
and practicing your English. What happens sometimes when English learners are trying to improve their pronunciation? You listen to a word, but before you say it, in your mind, you're breaking the word down. For
Okay.
example, if I say therefore, instead of just immediately saying what you heard, it's like, wait, that, wait a minute, that, right? Exactly. So this is something that we as adults do, Juliana, because we've lived life and we have the ability to break things down. Many times English learners, when they hear a new word or hear a new sound, instead of just immediately repeating what was heard, in your brain, you try to break it down. And that's what causes the incorrect pronunciation to come out. Instead, little children, they don't break things down. They immediately say whatever is heard. And you've seen a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, right? Whatever you're saying to them, right? They immediately try to copy you, right? Hola, hola, como te... Like they want to say what you're saying, right? As adults, we have to learn to do that again. So that's the best way to improve your pronunciation. Immediately after you hear something. So find a podcast. You mentioned earlier a sitcom. I want you to find a sitcom. Don't turn on the captions. Don't turn on the bottom at all. Just turn it on. And instead of worrying about understanding every word, I just want you to repeat exactly what you hear. Don't worry about mistakes. So as soon as they say something, say it after them. As soon as they say it again. In the beginning, it's going to feel very weird. You're going to feel like you sound weird. You're going to feel crazy. But what's happening is you're training your brain to just put out what it's hearing, to not listen, break down, and put out. Instead, listen out, listen out. The more you practice this, Juliana, the better your pronunciation will get. For example, I want to try it real quick for those listening and watching. Here's a free class. All right, now remember, I'm going to say something. Don't think about it. I want you to immediately just say it. Don't worry about making a mistake. You ready?
Okay.
Sure. You relaxed? You feel good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thus.
Thus.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Literally, you said the word perfect, and you said perfect. Well, good. I want to go home.
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 Exactly. For a moment, you wanted to think about it, right? Like, what did she just say? But instead, you just said it. What happened was I said, I want to go home. But the second time, I said it like a native English speaker. We say things very quickly. I want to go home and slowly. I want to go home. But you said it just like me the second time. Why? Because you didn't think about it. You just said it. So when you're practicing your pronunciation, this is the best advice I can give to you. Find whatever you want. Sitcom, podcast, even a YouTube video. But, excuse me, make sure the YouTube video is not an English lesson. Because when I'm teaching an English lesson, I don't speak the same way I speak when I'm talking to my friend or when I'm having a conversation with another teacher, right? So find a video about whatever you're interested in, as long as they're speaking in English, and every 5 seconds, 2 seconds, pause it and immediately say what they said. Don't worry about making mistakes. Pause it, say it, play, pause, play, pause, play. Over time, your pronunciation will become almost perfect. And then it will get even better and better. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, because I sometimes I hear some words, for example, that have the similar sounds that I have to try to understand with the context of the conversation.
Yes.
Because sometimes I what that word, but if I compare the context, oh, maybe yes. For example, I saw a TikTok, a video of a sounds of some words. For example, we said hour.
Yes.
OUR, for example.
Yes.
And then you say, okay, the sound of sour.
Yes.
But if you change the R with the letter P to R to P, is not soup, is soup.
Exactly.
So the pronunciation changed in spite of the have the same maybe
letters,
vowels or letters.
exactly.
But for example, in Spanish, the alphabet in Spanish, you read each letter
Yes.
as it is. So,
Yeah.
but in English,
Very
mm,
different.
yeah, are different. So that also makes me feel confused sometimes with some
Yes.
words. Or maybe there are words that have, for example, a pronunciation like feel or feel. Maybe
Yeah.
it's more longer or more shorter, but it's very confused to me because I
Right.
obviously get accustomed with the alphabet of Spanish.
Yep.
But for example, my head is all in Spanish, so trying to learn the alphabet in English, or maybe the words, if I read a book, for example, and there are new words, maybe I don't gonna read it that in a good way, in the right way,
Mhm.
because the letter is, for example, there's a word that before I pronounce different. For example, talk.
Yeah.
I Before I pronounce talk, the L,
Uh-huh.
the
LK.
people,
Hmm.
yeah. But then I understand that, or for example, walk. I say, okay, the L, no, no pronunciation. But
Exactly.
that is make also it's confused to me. But I'm trying to understand when I listen, for example, a
Exactly.
song, or when I listen your course or in YouTube videos. I'm trying. Oh, okay, here I cannot
That
pronunciate
letter.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for
You know what?
example, that
Mhm.
that
Go
is
ahead.
difficult because there's a lot of words in similar sounds, but in different forms to write them. So that is,
Yes.
for example, that makes me confused, right?
Yep. So this is what I'll say. So earlier in the conversation, you brought out a very good point, Juliana. You said that in the course, right, I don't bring up grammar, which is true. I've never taught grammar to any of my students. I've never taught it on my YouTube channel or in my academy. But each and every one of my students has improved. I have one student who doesn't make any grammar mistakes at all. When he first
Exactly.
came to me, he made tons of grammar mistakes. But after studying my program, he doesn't make any grammar mistakes anymore. So what has
Exactly.
happened is it's a psychological thing. I try to take students' focus off of their mistakes, off of the quote unquote little details to let
Mhm.
you all enjoy the process. And I do that because you are smarter than you realize. The program is for intermediate and advanced learners, right? All those
Exactly.
books behind you, I'm sure some of them are grammar books that you have studied over and over again, right? So in your
Yeah.
mind, you have lots of grammar rules. So your brain is saying, Juliana, we have a lot of rules in here. Now it's time to use it, right? So as your teacher, my job is to say, okay, Juliana, I want to set you free. Enjoy, talk to your friends. And what happens is everything in your brain suddenly starts to trickle down and you start using it without realizing it. The same is true when it comes to pronunciation. As I was listening to you, I heard you saying, oh, but the L and the K, Tiff, and then this. So it's similar to grammar. This is this rule, and that's that rule, right? Pronunciation is the same thing happens. Oh, but OU should sound like this, not that. My job, which is why there are so many videos in the academy, so many audio lessons, right? Just listen. Just listen over and over and over again, and your pronunciation will naturally start improving. The same idea, the same methodology I use to help you stop focusing on your mistakes with grammar is the same
Mhm.
methodology for helping you stop focusing on your pronunciation errors. The more you listen, the more you improve.
Yeah. So, for example, I am nowadays I understand better than before when
Excellent.
I hear someone else,
Good.
because sometimes I was all the time I was thinking that take or try to understand each word
Yeah.
and try to
Yeah.
translate in my head. But now
Yeah.
I only try to, I don't know, all the time I relation it with the context. Okay, there's a new word that I cannot understand, but it's a new word, and maybe I it's like a taking note, and then I looking for what is the meaning. Okay, I can put or using it in this kind of moments. That's what I do now. But I'm not thinking what or what word it is in that moment. I don't
Good.
worry about now. Before, yeah,
Good. Good.
I did that, but now I'm trying to not anymore.
Good. Good. And you'll continue to improve. You'll continue to improve. Well, Juliana, you did a great job. This is a really nice conversation. You spoke to me for 30 minutes. So even though you
Oh
were
yeah,
nervous at the beginning, yeah, time went by very fast, right?
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Time really flew by. Yeah. Well, Juliana, honestly, I am very happy that I got the opportunity to speak to you. Did you want to say anything else before we end?
No, thank you for giving me to teach us very with nice personality. I love the course. That
Oh,
is a good program, and I feel comfortable with that. I love the sessions with all the group. It's also a very nice community. Now, nothing. Thank you, really. Thank you for that.
oh, I'm so happy that you enjoy everything, and I'm so honored to be your teacher, Juliana. Thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to speak with me today.
Um, yeah, well, now I'm shaking again, but
Don't shake, don't shake. It's okay. It's okay. My mouse went out. So you saw me moving. I had to get another mouse. My mouse stopped working. But no, that's the only reason I was moving around. But I really enjoyed talking to you. And I hope you continue to enjoy the family.
yeah, so I hope see you again. Well, in the sessions on the monthly sessions,
Yes,
we are gonna see you again.
definitely. Definitely. Juliana, have a wonderful day, hon. We'll talk later. Oh,
Oh,
did it?
can you see me?
No, it went off, but I think you're coming back. Hold on one second. Let's see. Yep, you're back. No worries. No worries.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. I hope you have a great day, Juliana.
See you.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
hon.
Bye.